Okay, everybody, since it's almost the time, let's get started. This is Yue from Drexel University. I'm very honored to be here to chair this session. In this session, we will have 4 awesome talks all about the mobile security. So let's welcome our first speaker, Fan Nu. She is from the University of Chinese Academia of Science. She will be talking about the new cross-app threats existing in the authentication mechanism of Chinese mobile apps. Let's thank the first speaker.
Good afternoon. I'm He Fannu from University of Chinese Academy of Science. It's my pleasure to be here to share with you my research on assigning a new cross-app threatening to PII-as-Factor Authentication in Chinese mobile apps. First, what is PII-as-Factor Authentication? PII served as additional secrets to authenticate users. It is PII-as-Factor Authentication, called PaFA for short. For example, a popular payment app, AliPay, demands a user's bank account number, phone name, ID number, and SMS OTP to meet the authentication requirements of password recovery. That is, app vendors deployed additional PaFA to get higher authentication rates. So, is PaFA effective? I'd like to start by telling you a real-world motivating case for this question. An attacker who can access a victim's SMS OTP logs into our China app and finds the victim's phone name and ID number on the UI where the victims book flights. The attacker also logs into the PICC app to find bank account number on the screen where user purchased insurance. With this PII, the attacker receives the login and payment password of the UnionPay account. With these 2 passwords, the attacker can transfer money from the victim's account. As shown in the motivating case, an attacker who can only access SMS OTP aims to bypass the strong PaFA of UnionPay app that requires bank account number, ID number, phone name, and SMS OTP to transfer money from the victim's bank account. With fewer authentication factors than the app designed, an attacker can bypass authentication by cross-app exploitation. We call this bucket attack. Considering a real-world scenario, Alice is a normal user. She installed numerous popular apps, created an account, and provided personal information to these apps. As a result of Alice's usage, this app account counting her usage histories. Attacker, Mallory, can only obtain Alice's SMS OTP. This can be realized in various ways, for example, mobile phone safety, OTP fraud, and underground cybercrime markets. Mallory aims to compromise the authentication of a targeted app to achieve illegal goals like hijacking Alice's account. In order to study the potential risk when users use multiple apps simultaneously, our idea is to act as adversary, who only knows adequate authentication factors of the victim to operate other apps for breaking the target authentication. Mallory starts with a set of weak authentication apps to obtain some seed PII, and then use the seed PII to achieve the snowball effect until he cannot obtain additional PII or have tried all the potential apps. Our approach is building a state machine model that describes adversary who simultaneously operate hundreds of apps and use model checking to find attack paths that gain additional authentication factors or find vulnerable cross-app authorizations towards breaking the target PaFA. To achieve our goal, we proposed a semi-automatic system called MAGGIE. MAGGIE includes 3 core modules: an auxiliary tool helper that exploits the UI to help guarding available PII in apps. A model builder generates the state machine model, and a model checker analyzes the model with secret property and outputs counterexamples. Authentication rewards describes the authentication requirements of an app operation and the PII that could be obtained after authentication is completed. Author is 4-temp metadata, contains operations, successful condition, authorization, and rewards. Before starting the model, the security property was proposed as follows. For target app operation, there should not be any access path that allows attacker bypass authentication conditions of the target operation. If a counterexample exists that violates the security property, it means that there is an access path that allows the attacker to operate other apps, gain enough PII, and bypass the target PaFA. We refer to these counterexamples as attack paths. We choose 234 high-profile apps with highest total download numbers from 3 popular app stores in China. With the help of MAGGIE, I will present some measurement results of BACKIE attack. One of the root causes of BACKIE attack is the ubiquitous PII in apps. Many apps have full exposure to PII, and an attacker can easily obtain this PII by checking UI pages, as long as he logs into the victim's account. Some apps mask parts of the information displayed on UIs. However, maybe because different apps adopted different masking strategies, an attacker could stitch the pieces of PII together into full. For example, with the last name displayed in one app and the given name displayed in another app, an attacker can obtain the full name. Here, I will present a real-world case study to demonstrate the impact of this issue. As introduced in the threat model, we assumed an attacker who only could access the victim's SM OTP aims to transfer money from UnionPay and access the victim's QQ Mall account. The target UnionPay app requires full name, ID number, bank account number, and SM OTP to transfer money. The target QQ Mall app requires the email address and SM OTP to reset the login password. So attacker starts from 3 apps that only requires SM OTP for login. The 3 apps expose first name, and last 4 digits of the ID number, respectively. After attacker login, the attacker then stitches the first name and the last name together into the full name. With the last 4 digits of ID number and SM OTP, the attacker can log into Travel app to get the full ID number. Next, the attacker is able to reset the login password of text app and logs into it to get the victim's email address. So far, with the email address and SM OTP, the attacker can reset the password of QQ Mall account so as to access the hijacking QQ Mall Meanwhile, the attacker can log into another app to get the bank account number with the victim's full name, ID number, and bank account number. The attacker can reset the password of a UnionPay app and transfer the victim's money. Another root cause of backing attack is the prevalence of cross-business partnerships. Apps often engage in account sharing and business authorization with other parties. While this may seem beneficial, it also introduces security risks to PaFA. An attacker can utilize apps with low authentication strengths that have a business partnership with the target app to bypass its authentication. Here, I will present another case study to show the combination of causes makes the backing attack more flexible and complicated. An attacker who can only access the victim's SMS OTP aims to hijack the victim's AliPay account. The target AliPay requires the phone number, ID number, bank account number, and SMS OTP to log in. The attacker starts from beta apps and obtains the last 4 digits of the ID number. Next, with the last 4 digits of the ID number and SMS OTP, the attacker logs into Taobao. Finally, the attacker can log into AliPay through Taobao single sign-on. Obviously, the designer of AliPay do not expect a user who only knows SMS OTP can access an account. The two case studies demonstrate that PaFA, even those deployed in sensitive apps, do not provide the expected security as designed. According to statistics on 234 apps in the data set, 95.7% of apps show PII on one or more PII UI pages. 86.3% of apps have a complete display of PII, and 65 out of 234 apps deployed PaFA. And 75.4% of PaFA deployed apps are vulnerable to backyard attack. To estimate the real impact of backyard attack on users, we'll conduct a user study. Based on the survey results, backyard attack has a high success rate on real users. Our study reveals a new concerning fact. When people use many apps simultaneously, the PII explorer in apps and business-related interactions of 2 or more apps, leading to the PaFA useless. So SMS OTP becomes the sole protection. Unfortunately, existing work demonstrated that SMS OTP is not secure either and can be vulnerable to nervous attacks. The most important lesson learned from this study is that the widely deployed PaFA in China's mobile apps provide fewer security benefits. There are some suggestions to mitigate the backyard risk. However, striking a balance between security and usability remains a challenge. Thank you all for being here and for your attention throughout the presentation.
Questions from audience? Okay.
Thank you for your presentations. And I want to ask how you deal with the following situations. A user use different phone numbers to register different accounts.
Okay, we have taken into account a common scenario where individuals typically possess a single phone number. We consider different phone number as different users, so which means there would be false positive attacks. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Sure.
Thanks for the talk. So I'm more interested in how did you analyze the application. So did you conduct the code level analysis, or did you analyze click-by-click analysis to whether which application asks a certain personal information?
Pardon?
So you analyzed which app asks what kind of personal information to app users, right? So how did you analyze those? Yeah, kind of static analysis or dynamic analysis? What kind of analysis did you choose to conduct? To say that, I mean, how do you determine what kind of personal information is asked by the application?
He's asked about what kind of the personal information asked by the apps.
Oh, okay. We consider the personal information used widely in China include the ID number, bank account number, phone name, email address, and SMS OTP. These PII are widely used in China. Yeah.
Probably I can ask one more question. So why are you specifically focused on China, Chinese app? I noticed SMS OTP also existing in some US apps or Europe apps. So does that mean like only Chinese app has that problem, or you haven't analyzed due to some other reasons?
Okay. Because different countries may have different strategy for personal information. For example, in China, the birthday is included in the ID number, and we can stitch birthday and the parts of ID number displayed in apps together to a full ID number, but this didn't occur in other countries. If we want to measure other countries, we may be trained the model a little, and they can work.
Okay, that means your method is apply to other countries as long as you modified it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you.
If no more questions, let's thank the speaker again.
Thank you.